Ever feel like you need, I don't know, a cheat sheet just to understand all the crucial tools and concepts in modern business tech? It can get overwhelming fast.
Hmm.
Well, today, we've kind of got your shortcut. We're diving deep into the SAP Business Technology Platform. Let's just call it BTP.
Yeah, BTP. And what's interesting is how we're doing it. We're actually basing this on a set of practice questions,
Yeah.
really targeted questions designed to test knowledge of BTP.
Right, so it gets us straight to the point.
Exactly. It's a really efficient way to hit the core concepts. Yeah.
So our mission really is to pull out the most important takeaways about BTP. What is it? But maybe more importantly, what does it let businesses, maybe like yours, actually do?
Hmm. The goal is a solid foundation.
Exactly. Okay, so let's jump in. Thinking about building new stuff, cloud stuff. Imagine you're tasked with designing a cloud-native application right there on SAP BTP. What's the tool? The one you'd use to build and manage it efficiently. Save time, headaches.
Okay, yeah. The standout tool here, and what our source material points to, is SAP Business Application Studio.
Okay.
Now, the interesting part isn't just the name, but why it's the choice. You can think of it as like a modern workshop in the cloud specifically built for BTP development.
Right. It's not some generic thing you're trying to force to fit. It's cloud-based, optimized specifically for BTP. And for you, the listener, the real plus is probably that it supports multiple languages, right?
And it has integrated tools.
Yeah, integrated tools, which, just speeds everything up, the whole development cycle.
That efficiency we talked about.
That's it, getting ideas running faster.
Precisely. Okay, so let's switch gears a bit. Think about decision-making.
Crucial.
Crucial, right? How do you make decisions based on data, not just gut feelings?
Yeah, a common question from stakeholders for sure. How does BTP actually help with that, being data-driven?
Well, the key pieces of that puzzle, according to our sources, are SAP Analytics Cloud and HCI Cloud, that combination.
Okay, SAP Analytics Cloud and HCI Cloud.
Yeah. So SAP Analytics Cloud, that's sort of the front end. It gives you the tools to see the data, understand it, turn numbers into actual insights.
Makes sense.
And then powering all that underneath is HCI Cloud, which is this super fast in-memory database.
In memory, so processing happens really quickly.
Lightning fast. Think real-time processing of huge amounts of data.
Wow, so businesses aren't waiting around for reports then. They get answers almost instantly.
Pretty much. That ability to analyze data as it happens, that lets you make much quicker, smarter moves. You really have your finger on the pulse.
Okay, I can see how that would be a huge advantage.
Definitely. Now, another common headache for organizations. You've got all these different systems, right? Some SAP, some not. And they often don't talk to each other very well.
Yeah, data silos, big problem.
Yeah.
How does BTP tackle connecting all these different pieces?
That's where the SAP integration suite comes in. Think of it like a universal translator, maybe, for all your business systems.
A translator, okay. So it helps things communicate.
Exactly. And it's not just about basic data transfer, like moving info from A to B. It's more sophisticated. It can orchestrate entire business processes that might touch several different applications.
Oh, right. So like an order process that starts in one system and finishes in finance or something.
Perfect example. The integration suite makes that flow smoothly. It breaks down those silos you mentioned.
Which means less manual work, fewer errors, makes the whole operation run better, more agile.
You got it. Makes things much more efficient.
Yeah.
Okay, think about real-time reactions. Like something happens in one part of the business and another part needs to know instantly.
Like a critical customer order coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How does BTP handle that kind of instant communication between, say, distributed applications?
For that, the key service is SAP Event Mesh.
Event Mesh.
Yeah, you could almost picture it like a digital nervous system for your apps.
A nervous system. I like that. So it enables what tech folks call an event-driven architecture.
Right. The idea is when something important happens, that urgent order event mesh broadcasts it immediately to any other system that needs to react.
So it's about immediate notification, immediate response.
Which is just critical today, isn't it? Everything moves so fast, it lets businesses be way more adaptive.
Absolutely. Okay, now many businesses already use SAP systems, right? They've got investments there. How can they use BTP to add capabilities or customize things, but without doing these huge, risky core system upgrades?
Good question. That's really the sweet spot for the SAP Extension Suite. The main benefit is simplifying how you build new apps or extend the ones you have.
Simplifying extensions. So what does that mean practically, like adding new features?
Exactly. Or tailoring your existing SAP solutions to fit your unique needs better. And the key thing is you can do it faster, it's often less complex, and this is important, you're not messing with the core SAP code itself.
Ah, so you're building alongside it, not modifying the foundation, like adding a conservatory instead of rebuilding the kitchen.
Huh. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It gives you that agility, that customization, without risking the stability of your main systems. It's strategic evolution.
Strategic evolution, got it. Okay. Can't talk tech platforms without talking security. It's non-negotiable, especially cloud.
Yeah.
How does BTP handle user access, making sure the right people get in securely?
Right. That falls to the SAP Identity Authentication Service.
Yeah.
Its job is basically managing who's who and giving them secure ways to log in.
Okay, identity authentication. And what does that involve? Just passwords.
Well, more than that, it offers things people expect now, like single sign-on SSO so you don't need a million passwords.
Thank goodness for that.
Right. And also multi-factor authentication, MFA, that extra code from your phone for another layer of security.
Okay, so it's balancing, making it easy for users, like with SSO, but also keeping things properly locked down with MFA.
Exactly. Robust security, but hopefully not getting in the way too much. It's fundamental for protecting data.
Makes sense. So we've talked about development, data, integration, extensions, security, quite a few pieces. If we zoom out, what's the big picture? What's BTP fundamentally trying to unify?
Looking at everything we've discussed, it really seems to be about bringing together data management.
Yeah, HHana Cloud.
The analytics on top of that.
Analytics Cloud.
The integration between systems.
Integration suite. And the ability to extend and build new things.
Extension suite, right. So those 4 core pillars.
Yeah.
Data analytics, integration, and extension.
Exactly. Bringing them all onto one platform.
And why is that unification so important? What's the payoff?
Well, in the context of, digital transformation that everyone talks about, having these capabilities integrated on one platform is huge. It gives businesses a much more coherent foundation to modernize and innovate.
Instead of trying to stitch together lots of separate tools.
Precisely. It's designed to work together, making that whole transformation journey smoother and arguably more powerful. Okay, let's touch on something maybe a bit more technical but relevant for some listeners. Microservices. Using Kubernetes. If a developer wants to deploy something like that on BTP.
Right. For Kubernetes-based microservices, the specific environment within BTP is the Kaima runtime.
Kaima runtime. Okay. And what does that do?
It basically provides all the underlying infrastructure and tools needed to build, run, and manage those containerized applications efficiently using Kubernetes.
And just briefly, why use microservices? What's the benefit?
Well, the idea is you break down big applications into smaller, independent pieces. That generally makes them easier to update, more resilient if one part fails, and easier to scale up specific functions. Kaima helps manage all that complexity within BTP.
Gotcha. So for teams working with containers in Kubernetes, Kaima is the integrated BTP environment for that.
Exactly. Okay, shifting back to sort of everyday business operations, workflows, lots of repetitive tasks, approval processes, things that slow people down. How does BTP help automate that?
Yeah, streamlining workflows. That's the job of SAP Workflow Management.
Workflow management. Makes sense.
It's all about taking those manual, sometimes clunky processes and automating them.
And does it work across different systems?
Yes, that's a key benefit. It can manage processes that might start in one app, need an approval in another, and update a third one. You can model the flow, automate the steps, and then keep an eye on how it's performing.
So it boosts efficiency, consistency, probably fewer things fall through the cracks.
Absolutely. Frees people up from the repetitive stuff to do more valuable work.
Right. Okay, one last specific area. Let's circle back to PK Cloud, the database we mentioned. We said it was fast because it's in memory. Can we just underline what the main advantage of that is compared to older databases?
Sure. The absolute standout advantage of SAP HE Cloud is that real-time, in-memory processing. That's the core difference maker.
And the impact is
Yes,
speed.
massive speed. Because it processes data right there in the main computer memory, not fetching it from slower storage disks constantly. This means much, much faster analytics and quicker transaction processing.
Which in today's world is just essential for staying competitive, right?
What?
Reacting quickly.
Exactly. It's about getting that real-time view and being able to act on it instantly. Not just storing data, but using it at speed.
Okay, that really clarifies the HANA Cloud advantage.
What specific challenges in your world, your organization, could a platform like this actually tackle?
Or even transform. And thinking about that real-time data, the connected systems, what new things could you actually do? What new possibilities might open up?
Yeah, good questions to ponder.
Definitely something to think about. The whole world of business technology keeps changing so fast, doesn't it? And understanding these big foundational platforms like BTP, well, it feels pretty key to staying ahead of the curve.